afternoon. It's the Pit Stop. I'm Stephen McCollum, and the Pit Stop here is the weekly show about racing. We look back at last weekend's racing, which happens to be Naval Base over there in San Diego for the NASCAR boys and girls. And then, of course, over at Road America for IndyCar as well. We look back at that. We look ahead to this weekend in racing, which just leaves us with Sonoma with IndyCar and the Truck Series off for NASCAR this weekend. Leaves us with the O'Reilly and Cup Series up there in Northern California. Join us on demand at YouTube. Just go to TME Media AZ. You can also find us on demand at Rumble. If you're more of a Rumble user, rumble.com/user/TME Media. All of our programming is on demand at YouTube, except for The Real Matrix. That show is only over on Rumble, and all of our programming is on Rumble as well. You can, of course, catch us here on the Pit Stop and all of the shows except for the McCollum on Business show over on your favorite podcast system. Just search the Pit Stop Talk or search the Pit Stop with Steven, and it pops right up for you. Listen to the audio version of the show on your favorite podcast systems, Apple, Google, Spotify, Podchaser, all of them out there as well. Follow us on X at the Pit Stop Talk. Join us in that conversation during the races and over the weekends and the exciting stuff that happens during the week. Of course, follow TME Media AZ as well on X. That's just our company that does all this production out there, and appreciate it very much. And before we get into this weekend's racing over at Sonoma, we got to look back. Last weekend, Road America for IndyCar, as well as the Naval Base Coronado for NASCAR. We're going to go IndyCar first here. On Sunday, it's kind of a surprise winner here at Road America as well. We've gone back to the road courses here in IndyCar. And strategy, speed, a bit of good luck. Well, that had to have happened, and it did happen for Christian Lundgaard to allow him to go from last. He started 12th. First lap went to last place, and then ended up in first place at the race ended here as well. Now, the race did end under caution, which is my most hated way for a race to end. I'd much rather see them battle it out, even if it's a 10-second lead for the win. I cannot stand yellow flag victories. Makes you feel cheated at the end of a race, in my opinion, as well. How did we get to that yellow flag? Well, on that one lap restart, 1 lap to go, battle for the lead, for the win, Graham Rahal spun into the gravel trap outside Canada corner. That was after contact with Will Power, battling for third place on a 1-lap restart to the checkered flag. That's how the race went to yellow to end it. We'll show you that coming up in just a minute and talk about that. It's just interesting enough, David Malakis is having an unbelievable season this year, but cannot get that victory. He finished second in his Team Penske Chevrolet. His third runner-up finish, by the way, of the season, as he's looking for his first career victory. And he is right there. Just can't get over that hump. But you'll take the podium anytime you can. Will Power did hold on with that fracas at the end. We'll talk about coming up. He did hold on to finish third in his car as well. Matched his best finish of the first season with Andretti Global. And he's had a tough year, but finished third here now in a couple races. Is this the turnaround race? Got to think about. Christian Lundgaard, as I told you, started 12th. He went to last on the first lap due to some contact early in that first lap. Took some damage as well, but he ended up taking the lead for second and final time, took the lead for the second and final time on lap 52 of this race. It was only a 55-lap race. Well, Marcus Armstrong, he slowed with a mechanical problem. Armstrong actually led this race and was on his way to victory. He led it by 2.787 seconds with 5 laps to go before that mechanical issue stopped his possible first career victory. And he was going to win it easily, I feel, until that mechanical issue happened for him out there. The Armstrong's machine, it lost power in turn 5 on lap 53, which brought out that caution period and that 1-lap race to the checkered flag. So that's how we get to that one lap of battle, which ended up being kind of a snoozer because Lundgaard wasn't challenged on that 1-lap dash for the checkered. But but everybody was paying attention to that third place battle there as well with willpower and, of course, the incident we talked about earlier here. And we'll look at that a little bit in depth coming up. So, how did Lundgaard go from last to first in this race? I mean, we've seen Denny Hamlin go last to first on the NASCAR circuit 3 times in his 3 races he won recently as well. And on IndyCar, it's even better that it's happened out there. Well, on that opening lap, Lundgaard made contact with Scott Dixon in turn one, damaging the left front wing of his car and deflated one of his tires on lap one, turn one. He pulled into the pits on lap two for the tires to fix it. He got new fuel. He got a new front wing in that lap two pit stop. And then the strategists there for Arrow McLaren, they devised the new tactics on how they're going to run this race now with that unexpected beginning. Lundgaard cycled to the lead for the first time on lap 43. That was when Armstrong and Malakis, even Rahal, made up their final pit stops from the top 3 positions. Lundgaard led Rosenquist by 11.720 seconds on lap 45. That was when he made his final pit stop. And then, of course, the team filled his fuel, fastened new tires onto his car as well. It was a speedy 7.1 seconds in pit road for Lundgaard at that time. Now, the big cushion before the stop, 11 seconds lead here for him. That cushion led Lundgaard to exit his final stop, seconds behind Armstrong and just ahead of Malakis, who had a faster car, hotter tires as well, and passed Lundgaard for second on lap 46 at that point. Josef Newgarden, who did not have a good day in this race, he made his final stop from the lead on lap 49. For him, thought he might be actually able to win a road course, right, a non-oval course here. But that pit stop handed the lead back to Armstrong at that point. And Armstrong then at that point was 3.671 seconds ahead of David Malakis. Lundgaard, he passed Malakis for second on lap 49. Armstrong nearly 3 seconds up ahead of them at that second place position. As we told you, Armstrong's final or his bid for his first win went away with that mechanical problem, which means his power dwindled on him right there in the racetrack. That allowed Lundgaard to pass for the lead there on lap 52. So strategy, fuel strategy, a little bit of luck there with Armstrong's car having the mechanical problems getting you up into that lead. And ultimate victory there as well in this race. Now, other drivers you were paying attention to, pole sitter, Alex Palau, he led 13 laps in this race. Well, went away pretty quickly, though, his chance for his victory here. In Road America, we picked him because he was a dominant driver here. He was looking for that fourth career Road America victory. Well, it went away pretty quickly when he was penalized for speeding in the pits on lap 29. He fell to 22nd after his drive-through penalty. And the problem with that is Road America has one of the longest pit roads in the IndyCar circuit. And you're doing that while all the other cars are going into green as well, right? So he went all the way back to 22nd. And then he did charge toward the front over the closing 25 laps. He just couldn't get up there and get that side. He would have been competitive in this for a win, except for that error. That's where the luck comes in a little bit for Christian Lundgaard as well. Let's go up the finishing order here of the IndyCar series. Keep in mind, we only do the top 15 here as well. We told you Christian Lundgaard, David Malakis, Will Power on the podium. Kiffin Simpson, Alex Palou ended up fifth in this race. Even with that penalty, led 13 laps. You saw Christian Lundgaard only led 7 here as well. Well, Alexander Rossi in 6th, Scott McLaughlin in 7th, Felix Rosenquist. We're going to talk about him. Big news this week on him. He led 18 laps there, but ends up finishing 8th. Hey, Santino Ferrucci, friend of the program. I saw him catching some beers from the crowd after the race and downing them. Santino Ferrucci there in a top 10 finish at number 9 for him. Kyle Crookwood wraps out that top 10. Then you got Scott Dixon, Pato O'Ward. And I just keep thinking he's going to get that win, and he just cannot get up there for a win here on his run. Marcus Ericsson, Lewis Foster, and then Romain Grosjean there in the 15th spot in this race for the IndyCar circuit. Now, some guys got into accidents as we talked about here. The rookie, Cal Colette, Finished 16th here for AJ Foyt as well. The Santini's teammate there. We told you Josef Newgarden finished 22nd in this race. He was running, but had some damage. He had to come out of that. Graham Rahal out with that contact. Marcus Armstrong and Christian Rasmussen had him and Armstrong had mechanical issues separately throughout the race. Christian Rasmussen had the mechanical issues in lap 28 for him out there as well. Let's throw up the championship points here for the IndyCar. Now, they have a couple of weeks off. They don't get racing again until July 11th. 8 races to go for these guys. Alex Palou still has the lead, but it is shrinking. Even though David Malakis is not getting a win on the IndyCar circuit, he's closing that gap by finishing on the podium, while Palou does not. Kyle Kirkwood there in third. Right there, those two battling it out. 1 point separating David Malakis and Kyle Kirkwood. Then you got Christian Lundgaard making a push with the win. And then Pato O'Ward, he's just snuggled very tightly here in this fifth spot, not being able to make any moves forward or even backwards at that point for him on the IndyCar circuit as well. Next up for IndyCar, well, a week off for IndyCar. Mid-Ohio coming up. I'm sorry, I said a couple weeks. Mid-Ohio is on July 5th. Next weekend here for IndyCar as well. So we're 10, 11 days out, depending when you're watching this program this week or even less. But July 5th here, Mid-Ohio. So another road course coming up for the IndyCar circuit. We'll talk about that, of course, next week on the program, getting you ready for race weekend here over July 4th. Then we go to the NASCAR. In the NASCAR 3 Series, we're at San Diego for the inaugural race at the Naval Base Coronado last weekend. First time there. It was an interesting weekend. I'll give you my opinions of the weekend after we kind of go over what happened all weekend long on the racetrack. Now, this is the longest track on the 2026 NASCAR circuit. Fuel was an issue and a concern for all 3 series, but it ended up helping out or hurting, I guess you could say, in the truck series, depending if you ran out of gas or not. I'm kind of battling it out. It took until the final 2 corners in this truck series in overtime for Lane Riggs to secure the victory over Tyler Reif. Riggs was able to claim his 4th victory of the season and the 9th of his career in the truck series. Now, it wasn't very exciting at the very end, as Tyler Reif did kind of mess up there going through the chicane in those final couple turns. But let's show you to the checker, truck 1.
Team, look at the crew cheering him on.
Oh, he missed the corner.
Missed the corner. Cuts the course through the chicane. Lane Riggs around him. He has to come to a stop because he cut the course.
Yeah, now can Lane Riggs make it all the way back to the start finish?
Change. Lane Riggs wins it at Naval Base Coronado with 2 turns to go. He gets it done.
That was wild.
Now they explained it very well. You saw cars bouncing off those walls. Those were some skinny lanes that they had to drive in for all 3 circuits. And we'll talk about that on the O'Reilly and the Cup series as well. You see, he cut that inside of the track there. He went inside those pylons, which means they make him come to a stop at that point. That's your penalty. Allowed Lane Riggs to dominate and move forward at that point. Thanks to Fox Sports, by the way, for all of the coverage that we're looking at here as well. Hey, Lane Riggs is a fiery guy, right? As he gets out there, wins this inaugural race, a lot of emotions around being on a military base there for the Navy. Let's check in with our always fiery Lane Riggs after a win after the race. Truck 2.
Lane Van Rigsbergen came to play today, man. I got my 2nd street course win. We're undefeated at street courses. Hey, much respect, Shane. I wish I could be as good as you one day, man. But I'm going to take all my glory here in the truck series. But
Lane Van Rigsbergen, I guess I should say. That's fantastic. He named himself that. You know, 2nd win on the road course this year for him, for a guy that just hasn't won on one before as well out there. Now, that excitement from Lane Riggs, that's infectious. It was fun to watch. But with the excitement there of a win, especially a battle like that, well, it comes someone who almost got it. Let's check in with Tyler Reif after the race as well. Truck 3, please.
Right. I mean, pushing 101%. Obviously, I was just way over the tire there, and I heard one back with Lane, and I just didn't want him to have a chance to get to me. So my mistake. I mean, It's very unfortunate that I did that, and I don't know how many more chances I'll have like this, but I'm sure there'll be more, and I'm gonna make sure to not make that mistake again.
I mean, obviously disappointed on his face and everything. He was trying to win in only his seventh start in the Truck Series. He ended up finishing 19th because he was assessed a 30-second penalty for shortcutting the course. They're on that final lap. That's why you saw him come to an end just to stop. You had to sit there for 30 seconds. Ultimately, a 19th finish for him as well. The end of the race was exciting. The final two laps featured a bunch of twists and turns out there. Superior strategy. Well, it put Chandler Smith at the front of this field for the overtime restart on lap 52. He had fresher tires, more fuel than Lane Riggs did, who and their teammates, by the way. Then Smith led the field to green. Caden Honeycutt, my infectious favorite driver here on this Truck Series circuit. Caden Honeycutt was right beside him, Chandler Smith as well. Well, Honeycutt did what a lot of drivers were doing in this Truck Series and this race course. He brushed the wall on the downhill run toward turn two. Then Chandler Smith spun and crashed, trying to avoid and try to. I'm sorry. Hayden Honeycutt crashed, trying to avoid Chandler Smith there. I got confused, myself even talking about it. Cars bounced off each other behind them. Daniel Hemrick took the lead just for a little bit. Then he was challenged and passed, of course, by Tyler Reif there as well. He blocked Hemrick Chevrolet into the wall, approaching the chicane on that white flag lap. Now, he held the lead, Reif did, from the point until his mistake in the tight chicane there, as we just showed you, and undercut the course. The race featured 16 lead changes among 6 drivers. Riggs leading the race high, 21 circuits, and Smith had only 13 in terms of the laps. I know in road courses they call them circuits, but we're going to call them laps here. There were 7 cautions for 13 laps here in this race. And keep in mind, a lap was 3.14 miles. Long yellow flags is needed in this race. Let's up the finishing order here for the Truck Series. As a fun little race here for these guys on this big course, of course. Lane Riggs, Daniel Hemrick in second. Kaz Gralla there in third. Good run for him filling in on this Truck Series. Layden Lewis there in fourth. Ty Majeski in fifth. Justin Haley in sixth. Brendan Queen in seventh. Ben Rhodes, then Christian Eckes. Number 9 was Giovanna Ruggiero there in that 10th spot for him. Tanner Gray finished in 12th, and other guys that we kind of watch for playoff positioning out there as well. Hey, Frankie Muniz, by the way, 20th here in this race this weekend, if you're following his racing as well. Chandler Smith ended up 22nd, Caden Honeycutt 23rd, with their incidences out there late in that race as well. So some playoff points here getting hit. Stuart Friesen, by the way, who was at the outside looking in, or toward the bottom of the outside looking in last week, he finished 33rd in this race. Commentator got back in the car. Jamie McMurray finished 34th. He had that accident that knocked him out in lap 22. Corey LaJoie finished dead last in this. An accident knocked him out in lap 14 as well. But Tyler Akram, 31st. Jake Garcia, 32nd. You can see I'm naming some guys that were in the hunt here for a championship or playoff run here. We're running out of races in the Truck Series. Let's throw up those championship points here and take a look where we stand after the course. This a long road course. Lane Riggs continues to be number 1 in that. Caden Honeycutt, number 2. Then you got Chandler Smith after that. Gio Ruggiero in 4th. Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, Daniel Hemrick, all in those top 8 spots. Then you got Tyler Ankrum. Not a good run for him here. Still 23 points on the positive. But Jake Garcia, we gave you his name here, right? Toward the bottom here, 32nd in this race. Only 5 points up here so far, with 10 drivers making it into the playoffs. Grant Effinger is the 5 points out. Stuart Friesen, 10. Brendan Queen, 11 points out there. We're going to see a couple guys sneak in and a couple guys get pushed out. Who's it going to be is the big question going in with, about 5 races left, I believe, in the Truck Series. Justin Haley, there's 22 points out. Still has a shot himself there. But then guys are starting to get pointed out here, and they're going to need some miraculous run. Not because they need the points and they can't make them up. Well, the problem is your competitors will also be gaining points. Andres Perez de Laura there getting 33 points and going the wrong direction as the season goes on in terms of a championship points in the Truck Series as well. The Truck Series will have a couple weeks off here. 5 races are left in the regular season moving forward. So we got some races off here coming up. Lime Rock Park is coming up Saturday, July 11th. That's next up for the Truck Series. So we'll talk Truck Series and get you refreshed on that here in a couple weeks when they go to Lime Rock Park, which is a road course there, of course, for the Truck Series. They're the only ones that race there in the NASCAR circuit as well. Then we go into the O'Reilly race, right? Coming off that Truck Series, longer race with those cautions, kind of slows it down. You saw a lot of guys bouncing off the walls and other issues out there in the Truck Series. Well, the O'Reilly Series, it brought excitement to the Naval Base Coronado race as well. Austin Hill's last lap pass, well, it earned him his first career road course. And the O'Reilly Series, with his victory on Saturday there in San Diego. Let's just check into the ending here. You'll see how far he wins it eventually. O'Reilly won, please. Hilda the checker.
But he's never done it on a road course. Trying to check the box today. Through the chicane, all clean to turn 16. Austin Hill gets it done in dramatic fashion. It's Hill winning at Naval Base Coronado.
If you didn't see that race before that point, get the emotion there. If you didn't see this race to that point, you're like, what dramatic fashion? He won that by a ton. Well, it was hard work getting to that point as well. And then you see the emotion there and the cheering and things. And that's just simply because this is the first win for the RCR team since obviously unexpectedly losing its NASCAR Cup Series driver, Kyle Busch, 4 weeks ago. Emotional win for everybody. We're going to show you some of that emotion as well. Hill consistently showed on Saturday that he had a strong car. He won the opening stage, battled through all the eventful stuff that happened on the course, including 2 red flags. Those 2 red flags, one early in the race, one later, well, total more than an hour of race stoppage time. You know, even included an enthusiastic fan, a drunk guy who jumped the fence and went to Sheldon Creed's car as well and had a conversation with him before NCIS picked him up. That's federal stuff there on a naval base, folks. That guy's in a lot more trouble than he would be on a normal course as well. But lots of daring passes in this race. Plenty of room to do it in that 3.4 mile turn with all those 16 turns in this race. So how did Austin Hill get to that lead? With 5 laps remaining, Junior Motorsports' Carson Kvapil led Taylor Gray and looked to claim his first career win as he was kind of dominated it. And JR Motorsports was coming into this. Junior Motorsports was coming in with a 11 race road course winning streak by the Junior Motorsports team. Well, that's been broken as well with Austin Hill and RCR. But with 3 laps to go, well, Taylor Gray pulled his Toyota alongside Kvapil's car. Contact was made. It bounced Kvapil's car off a tire barrier. And, of course, out of the lead at that point. Let's show you with this incident. We're going to talk about it. Here's the leader incident, O'Reilly 2.
He opened up his entry a little bit there. We're going to get to that section where we know the tire. Oh, he's going to get this inside right here.
Here's Taylor Gray looking to make a move.
Here we go, right here.
Muscling up against him. Battle for the lead. Inside of 3 laps to go.
And this is the same place we saw Jeff Burton and his teammate have that contact. This is so tight. Oh, more contact.
There goes Kvapil. Gray got him.
And that battle was going there. Well, listen to both drivers here coming up on what happened. They said there's a wheel skip there. Did you see a wheel skip? Well, after that, 2 laps later, Austin Hill was able to get around Gray as they took the white flag for the last lap of the race. Hill went on to win pretty big, as you saw, 1.127 second win over Gray, who led the most laps in the race, 16, and actually won stage 2 as well. I told you, we'll go back and look at a lot of the emotion from the RCR team after the victory. You saw in the car after he crossed the checkered line from Austin Hill and saying finally and everything. Let's check in with Austin Hill after the race, O'Reilly 3.
Talking to this guy a little bit. Down the straightaways, I'm like, man, Kyle, if you're here, give me something, right? Like, let me find another gear. And for whatever reason, the car started to come to life. The two leaders got together, and when there was blood in the water behind the 54, I knew it was going to be tough to get around him, but it was going to be a battle. And when I got clear of him, I was very surprised to see how much of a gap I got.
Yeah, I mean, it's you see the emotion on his face, saying he's talking to this guy. His hat, of course, Kyle Busch, number 8 hat there as well, for that victory. Then you go to Richard Childress, the leader of RCR Racing as well. Caught up to him after this race, and of course, CW brings us all of this footage as well for the O'Reilly series. Let's go to Richard Childress after the race, O'Reilly 4.
Well, it's great. It's great to win here, and we all got Kyle in our hearts. You may not show it on the outside, but you do here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
RCR winners here at Coronado.
I mean, just an unbelievable win and an unexpected win from Austin Hill as well. So it adds to that emotion when you're not expected to be there at the end, and you end up doing it as well there in that Navy race there. Well, Taylor Gray spoke about the race after the incident that he was involved in. We're going to look at both drivers, Taylor Gray and Carson Coapel. Let's go with Gray first, since he was the one that, of course, Carson Coapel got the worst part of it there. So O'Reilly 5, Taylor Gray.
Had a really bad wheel hop there at my end of my run. I don't know. I need to go back and look at it and maybe shade lower on entry. I don't know. Just not get the car to wheel hop, honestly. Yeah, pretty disappointed in myself. Really proud of everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing, Toyota Racing. Thank you to Columbia Bank and Experiment. Yeah, I'm glad to get Columbia Bank a good showing, but obviously would love to be in victory lane right now. That's where my guys deserve to be, and yeah. And yeah, I mean, that's what it boils down to, is he was racing me tight like he should, and I wheel hopped underneath him, and yeah, I hate it for JRM, but fortunately that's kind of is what it is.
You saw the communication after the race there as well, talking about it. Was there a wheel hop there, folks? Looks to me like he just didn't turn his tire and just kind of slid into him a little bit. Wheel hop, a car would generally joan a little bit more. Well, I'm a little skeptical. I don't know how you feel about it. Hit me up, of course, the Pit Stop Top, and let me know. But Carson Coapel, let's see what he has to say, because he's kind of heard those comments. O'Reilly 6.
I want to get your thoughts on the conversation you and Taylor had, and also just how you make your peace ultimately with the result when it looks so promising there late in the going.
It's really hard to make peace with that. Obviously, I feel like Rodney and everyone in this Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet brought us a really fast car and gave us a position to win a race, and obviously we didn't. So that one really hurts, but I feel like he was probably a little better than us right at the end there. I feel like we were kind of better kind of throughout the run, but I feel like at the end he probably saved a little bit and was able to get back to me. And honestly, it's hard racing, right? But I don't know. I haven't seen the video, right? I know it's tight through there and it's easy to wheel hop, and that's what he said is what happened. But I don't know. We've had a little bit of a patch this year, and it's never been racing for wins. It's always just been racing for 10th, right? So I don't know. Let's see. Taking a look at it here. Yeah, it just sucks. I mean, I feel like when you're racing for the win like that, you got to kind of put everything out on the racetrack. And I'm sure that's what he was doing. And I was too. It's just hate being the wrong end of it for sure.
Thanks, Carson.
I mean, one thing you can say about that, they both were racing for the win there, because they usually are battling for 9th, 10th, 11th place. First time for the lead there, whether it's a wheel hop or not. Take it as it is there, but it's just two guys battling hard, in my opinion. Would I be upset about it if I was Carson? 1,000% yes. But is it something where you flag it and kind of, might want some revenge later on if he can get it? I just think that's hard racing. Wheel hop, not too sure about that, but I just think it was hard racing. From a fan's perspective, from my perspective, hey, good job and good effort by both those guys battling it out there for the win. Well, there were other issues here in this Coronado racetrack. 2 red flags during this race as well. They combined for more than an hour in time when, I turned at one point to the U.S. Open in golf, turned back. I was like, why is there a red flag? Yeah. The first one, first red flag came out in the second lap of the race. Of course, the later one came out when they had to properly repair the wall that was damaged following a 23 car incident that unfortunately eliminated many of the day's strong cars, your favorites going into this weekend. Let's look at that wreck here. O'Reilly 7.
It's going to give up the lead, and now he's just fighting to hold on to second. Oh, big wow! Turn one. Oh, my. That's a huge impact.
Walls, they're sticky. You know, you get into those in the car, and that's part of what shreds the car. And also, as they split apart, starts to tear the car apart. You see they're already up there trying to get a look at that.
I mean, it took out guys that you're expected to win in this race. And so I had Sam Mayer winning this race. He was involved in that as well here going into that late lap red flag and took out I mean, you just went toward, if you got into that wall, which a lot of guys are hitting the walls in those skinny areas, right? Like they said, you kind of just stuck to them, caused other guys to reel into you. Unfortunately, big wreck there. But that one was big while they were fixing the wall there. But even then, going back to the beginning of the race, almost immediately after the start, an hour-long delay to repair a sewer vent cover in turn 5. It came off in traffic. Yeah, it even went into a car. Yeah, went into Corey Day's number 17 Chevrolet. He was driving around with a manhole cover in the front of his car, folks. The caution laps included a nearly 19-minute red flag period. And once the cars rolled off again, well, NASCAR did, which is kind of shocking to me. Now, NASCAR during the red flag did weld down the manhole cover. They had already welded them down, I guess. I don't know if they missed that one or the weld didn't stick, but did ruin the car there for Corey Day. Well, after the red flag was done and they started rolling, NASCAR did allow Corey Day to get the 4 laps back that he lost while his crew repaired his Chevy. He restarted last, got a speeding penalty during a subsequent stop for service on lap 13. It is unheard of that drivers get their spots back in NASCAR, and they did it in this race. He was driving around with a manhole cover sticking into his front grille. Literally just round things sticking out. It was an interesting thing that happens there. Most importantly, NASCAR giving him his spots back was kind of a shocker. Not going to lie to you about that as well. Let's throw up the finishing order here of the O'Reilly series at Coronado race as well. O'Reilly 8 is what we're looking for. Austin Hill came in first. Taylor Gray in second. You got Sheldon Creed. Carson Kvapil ended up in 4th in this race. Sheldon Creed, of course, the driver during that second red flag, visited by the fan that hopped the fence there before NCIS took him off. Sammy Smith in 5th, Jesse Love in 6th, Parker Retzlaff in 7th, Austin Green. Then you got Harrison Burton in 9th. Corey Day finished in 10th with his adventurous day there throughout it as well. Big name guys that we look at, of course, for playoff positioning and everything. You know, some guys had tough days. Roger Carruth finished 22nd here in this race as well. Then you get down toward the bottom here. Brent Cruz, my buddy, Brent Cruz, he was winning this race at times. He led 11 laps, is what I mean. His engine had problems, and so he had to retire from this race. Ended up finishing 31st for him. Justin Allgaier, engine problems took him out of this race as well. Finished 32 in this race for Justin Allgaier, the points leader. Sam Mayer, I told you, involved in that wreck, 34th place for him. In that accident there on the 34th lap, Anthony Alfredo in that same accident, along with William Salwich, all out of the race. 34 for Sam Mayer, 35th for Anthony, and 36 there for William in this race here as well. Let's throw up the championship points after this unique race at the Naval Base. O'Reilly 9. Justin Allgaier still huge lead. He can have several bad races, and he's going to keep that lead there. 847 points. Jesse Love in second with 623. Corey Day in third with 609. Then you got Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, Brendan Jones, Carson Kvapil, Sammy Smith, Parker Retzlaff, Taylor Gray, and Sam Mayer finishing this year in 10th and 11th place for those two drivers as well. William Salwich ends up in the 12th spot inside that bubble, but just 5 points ahead of Brent Cruz in this race. I do think Brent Cruz is going to get into the playoffs. But who's he going to knock off? Taylor Gray, Sam Myers, William Solwich is kind of the question you're looking at. I think Roger Carruth has a good chance of making it into the playoffs as well, just 9 points out as of right now. Anything behind Ryan Sieg? I'm putting Ryan Sieg kind of as he had a last place finish here as well. I'm putting Ryan Sieg as a guy that's, most likely out, but could run his way in. But anybody after Ryan Sieg, like Brendan Poole, out of the playoffs, no chance to move on. I know there's plenty of racing left. I mean, it's going to take multiple good finishes for drivers that just aren't having good years and not capable of having multiple good races there for them. So I know we're down to at least two drivers that can swap out, and it's going to be fun to watch these guys battle it out in the series. The CW earned 1.161 million total viewers for this inaugural race at the Naval Base Coronado. You'll get this from the Nelson panel only data. Viewership peaked at 1.372 total viewers. That was between 6:15 and 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. This was a 4% increase from the same weekend last year, which obviously wasn't in San Diego. It was at Pocono last year. It was the 18th straight event with viewership eclipsing 1 million total viewers for the CW and this O'Reilly series. What's up next for the O'Reilly series? Well, this weekend coming up at Sonoma. We'll look ahead to the Sonoma race later in the show and kind of tell you about Sonoma, another road course coming up here. Kind of a staple on the NASCAR series. So there's a lot less unknowns coming for Sonoma coming up this weekend. But we'll talk about that later in the program when we look ahead. And then the Cup Series on Sunday. Look, long races this weekend, a lot of battles. On Saturday, a lot of social media hubbub from the fans saying that it was hard to get around there. It's hard to get in, hard to move around on the naval base. We'll talk about my thoughts on this race coming up. And a lot of people were like, I'm not coming back on Sunday. Well, huge crowd on Sunday. If you didn't show up, you were a few and far between that didn't show up on Sunday. In the end of the race battle between Tyler Reddick and Corey Heim, of all people, in the Cup Series, well, it led to Corey Heim winning his first NASCAR Cup Series race. It's his 13th start here as well. And it's his first in the top division in a road or street circuit. Of course, dominated the O'Reilly series last year. Part-time driver in the Cup Series as well. Let's check out Corey Heim to the checker, Cup 1.
He is a superstar, and he's showing us why.
The star is born.
Look at this
today.
lead.
It's America 250. It's a red, white, and blue paint scheme. And a young superstar is going to get it done. In his 13th career start, it's Corey Heim who will win at Naval Base Coronado.
$23.11 there as well. Now, I told you Tyler Reddick was racing Corey Heim. Didn't look like it in that video for the win, but Tyler Reddick hit the outside wall within that battle they were having. He eventually suffered a flat tire, among other damage to his car. Heim reached that finish line 10.365 seconds ahead of Bubba Wallace, the other 23:11 driver as well. Bubba Wallace did rally from a 2-lap penalty for a loose wheel that dislodged from his car and rolled between turns 9 and 10 earlier in the race to get that finish. And, of course, penalties coming because of that here this week. Now, Corey Heim, it was, like I said, dominated the O'Reilly series last year. He was recently announced as a full-time driver for the 23:11 team starting next year. And he's a part-time driver this year. Let's check in with him after the race. Cup 2.
I'm speechless. I mean, we started the race. I think we started 13th. We fell straight back to like 20th, then put on our scuffs from qualifying and struggled just as bad. I don't know if we made any adjustments, but Booty kept telling me that these were our worst 2 sets of tires and, we were going to be just fine, and he was right. I couldn't believe it. We strapped another set of tires on and we were just fine. Hit the wall a couple times. Maybe it knocked some good into the car. I have no idea. After stage 2, I just kind of took a deep breath and was like, I had really high expectations coming into this race. It's an even playing field for me. I don't see that every day for a young driver like myself. And I just kind of took a deep breath and reset and went after it. So Caught a couple breaks with some of the good guys wrecking out, but they don't ask how, just how many.
Corey, I had cold chills watching you, man, because I know how hard and how much work you've put in over these last 3-4 years in the Toyota program to have this opportunity. And I watched you run down one of the best, Tyler Reddick, and be able to go up and contend. Take me through that battle with him as you were pacing yourself, not to wear your tires, and then the pass and the moment where you got in the marbles there.
Yeah, you've been a big help too, Trevor. I really appreciate you, man. But I don't know. I feel like, for a while there, I thought he was kind of playing with me, but, he's able to set the pace being the lead car, but I was kind of able to stick with it. I'm like, I'm not really burning my stuff up. So 5 to go came, and it's just kind of time to put some pressure on him, see if I could get him to make a mistake. And sure enough, he did. I guess he ended up breaking or something. I don't know what happened to him, but a lot of respect for him, though. He doored me down there in 5, I think, and gave it back to me. That's something I don't say every day. Great teammate. So, I don't know, just crazy. I mean, it feels like a dream. I hope I don't wake up from this dream, but I don't know. This is insane. Just so thankful for 2311, Mobile One, Toyota for this journey. I mean, I didn't expect to come into my part-time season and win, but here we are, I mean, it's crazy. So it hasn't even sunk in yet. I'm sure I'll get emotional in a little bit, but it really hasn't even sunk in yet.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic win. And that's the other side of it. Tyler Reddick raced him. He could have taken out his teammate, his young teammate, to go get that win. He raced him respectfully as well, for a young guy on the circuit. And he was, like I said, part-time teammate this year, but full-time teammate starting next year. Corey Heim only led the final 3 laps in this race with his limited schedule with 2311 this season. Now, you heard him reference it. Most of the drivers that are expected to dominate and win this race were knocked out of this race back in lap 33. That big wreck happened then. After a restart, it took out a lot of the strong competitors, SVG, Connor Zilic among the group. Let's check out that wreck, similar to the O'Reilly one, Cup 3.
Just the 33 misses the corner. There's some bumps right there that we've seen cars get upset over and get into the outside wall. We had a massive crash yesterday in the O'Reilly series from a car making contact with the inside wall there. But it looks like the 33 just gets a little bit upset. Right there, you lock up a little bit on the right front, and the car just kind of goes straight a little bit, and he just misses the bottom, right? And that contact with the 88 then sends them into.
I mean, it takes out. It just flat out takes out leaders of this racetrack. Favorites, SVG, Connor Zilic, who's competitive on this deal as well. It's a racing thing there, but that bad luck for those drivers and going into that turn, well, it turned into positive here for Corey Heim. The whole 2311 team, to be honest with you, benefited from this giant wreck as well. Let's check out the finishing order here in the Cup Series. So it's be Cup 4. Corey Heim, as we told you, part-time on the circuit, gets his win. Folks, this is a surprise win for a guy that's learning the Cup Series or biding his time for next year. It's just an absolute surprise win. Corey Heim in that first spot. Bubba Wallace in the second spot. Then you got Kyle Larson, Zane Smith there in 4th. AJ Allmendinger in 5th. And Chris Boucher, Ross Chastain, Riley Herbst, Ryan Blaney, and then Michael McDowell coming in that 10th spot out of this race. And interesting enough, right? Ryan Blaney led 12 laps in this. Kyle Larson led 11. Had some issues that kind of pushed him back. Not able to get to that front and keep it rolling as well. Chase Elliott in 12th in terms of the big name guys. Denny Hamlin in 14th. Denny Hamlin in road courses, not like oil and water. So pay attention to Sonoma this weekend as well for him. Ty Gibbs in 15th place here as well. John Hunter Nemechek in 16th. Chase Briscoe 17th. Joey Logano 18th. And then Carson Hocevar coming in at 19th as well. Like I told you, that big wreck, right? Tyler Reddick got kind of battling with his teammate, led 9 laps in this. Well, he ends up finishing 25th, got a flat tire, hitting that wall, some other issues. Ends up 25th there, battling for the win there with Corey Heim. Alex Bowman is 26th. Jimmy Johnson, by the way, getting in the car here and having some fun. Well, 28th finish for him, getting back into that car. But I told you the accident side of things. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. went out in lap 59 for a radiator issue. But Brad Keselowski did finish the race. He was still running, but he finished 34th. He was 59 laps as well. Then there's accident guys. Noah Gragson, Austin Hill, Connor Zilic, Shane Van Gisbergen, all involved in that big accident. They say lap 31 is when that accident actually happened. there. So they favorites knocked out. This race would have been completely different if those guys would have stayed in that race as well. Christopher Bell, his car went out due to an engine, but more importantly, Christopher Bell had to be substituted in this race as well. I imagine his wrist, right? Playing with that, driving with that broken left wrist. It's not a normal oval course where you kind of just turning one direction, back and forth, left and right, braking, accelerating. Had to be replaced in this, and then his car ultimately with the engine went out of this race. Something to pay attention to for Sonoma this weekend, and Christopher Bell, of course, with that injured left wrist. Championship points now for the Cup Series. Cup 5, please. Tyler Reddick still in the lead, but barely here. 716 points. Man, Tyler Reddick could have gotten this win or top 5 finish like he was shooting for and almost had. He would have gotten that lead a little bit better. So he's cooled off since his big, important start to the season. Denny Hamlin, though, still 8 points behind him there in that second spot. Then you got Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs. Man, Ty Gibbs in 5th place. Who would have thunk that? Chase Elliott, Chris Boucher, Daniel Suarez, Carson Hocevar, Chase Briscoe in the 10th spot. Bubba Wallace with his second place finish here in this race, 11. Christopher Bell, 12th. William Byron, 13th. Then Eric Jones, Austin Cedric, Ryan Preece here. Right, 10, 8, and 5 points are those last 3 spots there in this playoff hunt for the Cup Series. Shane Van Gisbergen is outside looking in. Shane Van Gisbergen's problem is, and we've talked about it a lot this year, he's good in these road courses and street courses. He needs great finishes in them and wins in order to stay in the playoff hunt. Then he needs to do what he did earlier this season and have really good finishes for him and the oval side. Finishing 36th in a road course at Coronado due to a wreck is not going to help his playoff chances. He's outside looking in right now in that spot, minus 5 points from getting on the positive side. Joey Logano's 10 points back. Joey Logano is going to make the playoffs. Just a matter of who he's going to knock out here for him. Brad Keselowski's in that minus 13 spot, then AJ Allmendinger minus 21 as well. Shane Van Gisbergen, it just comes down to limited road courses coming up still. You need to pretty much win those, or first or second place, and get some stage points to compete and stay in this because he just hasn't figured out how to win and be consistent on an oval course as well. Next up for the Cup Series, Sonoma this weekend again, but also the in-season tournament we'll talk about at the end of the show. The in-season tournament's just a fun little thing they do for the next 5 races. Of course, TNT Sports is what the broadcast is moving to, and Amazon Prime is the best broadcast pre-race, post-race, in-race. It's sad to see him go here, move over to TNT Sports this year as well. We'll talk about that coming up also. Now, my thoughts really quick as we wrap up the naval base race. Well, it's pretty simple. It was a fun new racetrack for the NASCAR circuit. I enjoyed it a lot in terms of the racing side. Now, one reason we did not go to this and cover it, one of the reasons, it's on a Navy base. If you've ever been around a military base, even if it's open to the public, it's very hard to get in. Very hard to move around in there. A lot of restrictions because it's a military base for safety reasons. There were a lot of complaints from fans about the logistics, getting in, getting out. Then it's an island, right? How do you get there? How early do you have to get there? Food issues. Can't just walk where you want. And when you do want to go someplace that you can go, it's a long walk to get there. Yeah, they had trams, but not enough for the people that were in there. Right? It was a lot of complaints from the fan side. That's one reason why we didn't want to go cover it for those. It just seemed like bigger of a headache, right? But that is to be expected, to be honest with you, with the security concerns of a military base. Not a shocker that I was reading this stuff and everything. People complaining, I'm not coming back tomorrow. The races were a little bit longer because of red flags and caution act incidents and things to that effect. Made it for long days there as well. So I understand that aspect from a fan's perspective, but I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of expected that to happen. Again, the reason we did not go cover it was just didn't want to deal with that side of it on a vacation weekend in San Diego. Just didn't want to deal with it. So I'm not surprised. But as for the racing, without the red flags, I thought the racing was fun. The red flags extended it out. I felt like they could have widened up a couple of those road areas to avoid some of those wrecks that led to long yellow flags or even the red flags there as well. But I thought the racing was fun. Surprise winners this weekend as well. I know drivers love the experience and the atmosphere for the weekend. NASCAR, well, they said they'd like to go back. They met with the media after the race on Sunday, said they'd love to be back. But of course, it's not just your decision as NASCAR. You're subject to the thoughts of the Navy base there as well. So here's my overall conclusion. Yes, logistics from a fan perspective were probably annoying and a pain in the butt. It's a military base and security is going to be that way. But in terms of the racing, I'm just going to tell you right now, whether they race again at Coronado or they don't race again at Coronado, I'd be okay with either decision. Would I like to see him race there again? Yeah. But I can also understand why they're not going to. Because of a lot of the issues and logistics that have to happen at that point. I'm okay either way. But I did enjoy the racing on the racetrack. Not being there, the outside stuff didn't affect me. I wasn't surprised by what I was hearing. But I also understand the disappointment from the fans as well at dealing with that side of it. So, race there again, don't race there again. I'm fine with whatever comes down here as well. But it would be fun to see it again coming back up. Hey, when we come back here on the pit stop, we'll look at news around racing. And of course, look ahead to Sonoma this weekend. IndyCar's off, Truck Series is off. So just O'Reilly and Cup Series there at Sonoma. It's coming back. It's the Pit Stop, your weekly racing show. Back here to the pit stop. Join us weekly as we look back to racing at IndyCar and NASCAR the previous weekend, and ahead to racing this weekend as it's out there. Of course, no IndyCar or Truck Series this weekend in NASCAR. Coming up, find us on demand at YouTube, TME Media AZ, but also on Rumble, rumble.com/user/TME Media is where you can find us. Free podcast version on your favorite podcast system, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Podchaser. Wherever you can listen to a podcast, you will find us there as well. Just search the Pit Stop Talk or just search the Pit Stop with Steven and it'll come right up for you as well. And catch the audio version of the show. But before we look ahead, we got to look at some news around racing and kind of a quiet week here. Everybody's settling down from the Naval Base race there in San Diego. But in the IndyCar side of things, MSR Racing, they confirm, I should just say MSR, since the racing is the R, but MSR does confirm that Felix Rosenqvist, he's leaving the team after this season. There's been no announcement on Felix's future, but the rumor has it, the rumors on the street, the informed people are saying, Felix informed MSR that he will be signing with another team this offseason. Felix Rosenqvist will race the rest of the remaining 8 races of the season for MSR before ultimately moving on. He joined MSR in 2024. Interesting move here by Felix Rosenqvist. Of course, won the Indy 500 this year. But what's interesting about it is he joined this team back in 2024. He's had a resurgence in his career since joining this team as well. And like I said, ultimately winning the Indianapolis 500 back in May. And now he's moving on, offer with another team. He informed them he's going to take it coming up at the end of the season. So we'll have to see what team that is here when it is announced later on as well. Now, on the NASCAR side of things, Colleague Racing and Ram, they announced this week that 2008 Daytona 500 winner, 18-time NASCAR Cup Series winner, Ryan Newman is coming out of semi-retirement. He's going to drive the number 25 Ram in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at North Wilkesboro coming up on July 18th. So Ryan Newman fans, I like Ryan Newman a lot. He used to be a fun interview back in the day, and it was fun to watch him throughout his racing career to his ultimate retirement as well. You know, he's nicknamed Rocket Man, if you might have heard that name as well. He drove Dodge machinery a lot in his career. 13 of his 18 career Cup wins were in Dodge products. He earned 43 of his 51 career Cup poles in Dodges as well. Now going to the Dodge Ram Colleague Racing. Now, Colleague Racing with this Ram is the first year in the Truck Series is what Dodge is doing. Kind of having a celebrity bunch of people driving these Dodge Ram trucks here throughout the season. I like what they're doing, bringing different old-time racers back, celebrities, right? Some racers getting back into the trucks to race those Rams. It's kind of fun to watch. Not going to lie to you out there. Ryan Newman, July 18th, coming up as well with North Wilkesboro Raceway, which is a points race this year. Remember that. Now, NASCAR leaves the Amazon Prime broadcasting team. And like I said, Amazon Prime is by far, it ain't even close, of all the NASCAR broadcast teams. Not even close. Their race, they do so much more than everybody else does in terms of pre and post race. Their team during the race is fun to listen to as well as they break things down. I'm going to be sad to miss Amazon Prime. They set the standard that every other broadcast network should appeal to or try to get to here in the NASCAR side of things. Well, now the broadcast moved to TNT Sports this weekend, starting at Sonoma. 5 races there before it eventually, after these 5, moves over to NBC for the remaining part of the season, mainly the playoffs coming up. Now, IndyCar, it's off this weekend. The NASCAR Truck Series off as well. So the Riley and Cup Series go to Sonoma, and let's talk about it coming up. Sonoma, a staple here in terms of a road course on the NASCAR circuit. 1.99 miles up there in Northern California. 12 turns for it as well. This is going to feel like a cakewalk for these guys compared to that 3.14 mile, 16 turn race last weekend over there at the Naval Base Coronado. It's a multi-elevational paved road course as well for these guys. 110 laps is what this race is scheduled for, which makes it about 218.9 miles for these guys. Most of these drivers have driven on this racetrack. Going to be no surprises like last weekend up there as well. Now, the O'Reilly Series, Friday, June 26th. This Friday coming up. 4 to 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time is practice, which makes it 1 to 1:50 for those of us out here on the West Coast. Then qualifying will be Friday night, 5:05 to 6 p.m. Eastern, which makes that 2:05 to 3 p.m. coming up for the O'Reilly Series. Then you get the Sonoma race for the O'Reilly Series, 5:30 p.m. on Saturday, 2:30 p.m. our time out here on the West Coast. Of course, O'Reilly Series always on the CW this season. Connor Zillett, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Ross Chastain, they're coming down from the Cup Series to race in this O'Reilly race on Saturday. Here's the questions. Can Austin Hill, he got that road course win there in Naval Base Coronado. Can he continue it this weekend? Keep RCR in that emotional winning state that they had last weekend? I doubt it coming up here. They're going to, if anything, have a little bit of a struggles up there in Sonoma. But that would be a fantastic story if they're in the battle to the end. No doubt about that. But let's be honest about it. Unless a wreck like last weekend or car problems, this race is going to come down to either Connor Zilisch or Shane Van Gisbergen, SVG. They're the dominant two guys on the road course. It's going to continue to be that way. So unless something bad happens to either one of them, they're going to be in the battle to the end here. Now, they're Cup guys coming down, but I'm going to still pick this. We normally don't pick Cup guys. We just go with the best finishing O'Reilly Series car driver. But these two are going to battle it out. I'm going to go with SVG to win in this O'Reilly Series race this weekend. Connor Zilisch probably being second if I was to guess. So who's the top finishing O'Reilly driver this weekend? Justin Allgaier struggled there at the Coronado. He's the most experienced driver on the circuit, the O'Reilly Series. I think Justin Allgaier is going to battle for the win here this weekend and be the top finishing O'Reilly driver as well, and kind of rebound from his accident and things that happened at Naval Base Coronado last weekend as well. Now, I don't know. Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed, just don't know if they can get up there toward the end. Now, if there's an accident or something, I just think somebody's running away with this race, and I think that could be Justin Allgaier in the O'Reilly Series as well. And on the Cup side, practice qualifying is on Saturday this weekend, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which, of course, means 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for those of us on the West Coast. Now, practice and qualifying is on TNT this weekend. For those of you looking for that, well, then the race, of course, at Sonoma, 3:30 p.m. on Sunday, which makes that 1:30 p.m. out here on the West Coast. So that means green flag will be around 3:45, 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time as well. I'm sorry, noon as well. 12:50 would be where it's at. So I apologize. The time of the race would be 12:30 p.m., 12:45, 12:50 p.m. out here on the West Coast for the green flag as well. No math's off. Got to subtract 3, and I can't do it. TNT, again, is the race this weekend as well. My TNT apps are terrible. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch this race if I'm not sitting at home. I'll have to see what the TNT app doing for me this year. Can't be as bad as Fox was, where Fox I had to be sitting at home in front of the television. If I moved at all, the Fox, I could not get the Fox races this year. It was very difficult. Active Cup drivers to win at Sonoma, very few of them. And only one of them has multiple for active drivers. Kyle Larson's won this race twice, 2021 and 2024. Shane Van Gisbergen won this race in 2025. Coming up, right, last year. Daniel Suarez won this race in 2022. That's the only active drivers that have won this race. Very slim pickings in terms of experience going into this race at Sonoma this weekend. I apologize, folks, as well. I have a little bit of a computer issue. Let me fix that really quick. I normally wouldn't broadcast that, but you guys would think it's weird if I just stopped talking while I went ahead and fixed that out there. So it's interesting, right? Very slim pickings on who you would think would win this race. Now, I'll tell you this. I'll throw Tyler Reddick into that group. He hasn't won yet, but the way he's running, he could pull it out this weekend. I would normally put Christopher Bell into this group for a chance to win this, but not with a broken wrist and not seeing how it went there at Coronado, where he had to be replaced as a driver with his left wrist issue as well. So I'm going to think he's going to struggle a little bit on this track as well. And with the way Tyler Reddick has run this year, he has a chance to win, folks. So SVG, Connor Zilisch, well, they'll be in the conversation. Connor Zilisch stepping up to the Cup Series, still struggling in the Cup car in his first full year there. But he runs these road courses well. SVG's winning this race, folks, unless he has car problems or gets out in a wreck again. I don't give much thought, though, even though he's won it twice, to Kyle Larson to win this race. I know he's won it a couple times. History says he has a chance. I just don't put him in the category of Kyle Larson's going to win this race. Maybe he's going to surprise us this weekend and get another win out there as well. I don't know why I'm so negative on Kyle Larson specifically at this racetrack when history says he can do it. SVG's winning this race this weekend, unless he wrecks out or has car issues. I'm even going to go a little bit farther. Tyler Reddick will be in this battle toward the end. But I'm going to throw Joey Logano. Joey Logano has been struggling a little bit this year. I think Joey Logano, although he's probably not going to win the race, Joey Logano is going to race competitively this weekend at Sonoma and be there at the end. He'll have a positive run. He'll challenge for the victory, I think, here at Sonoma with SVG. Now, SVG might win by 7, 8, 10 seconds. But he'll be up there trying to challenge with them as well. Joey Logano's not, I don't think, is going to finish 17th, 18th, 20th this weekend on this race. It's going to be a fun racing weekend at Sonoma. Sonoma is, now I have a new favorite here. I wasn't a big fan of the Chicago Street Race, Road America for NASCAR. I'm certainly not at COTA as well. I generally, the one, Road America was one road course that I did kind of enjoy NASCAR at. I should take that back. Otherwise, I don't really care about the road courses. Sonoma is an exception to that. I'm going to add the naval-based one as a fun one that I'd like to see again, to be honest with you. If it happens, it happens. It doesn't, it doesn't. But Sonoma is my favorite road course. I think it's the most competitive for NASCAR. It's built for them to race there. I think it's going to be a fun weekend coming up as well there. So I'm going to go SVG definitely to win it. But look out for Joey Logano, and no shocker here, Tyler Reddick to have a good racing weekend as well. But don't forget here, right as we wrap up the show here today, the in-season tournament kicks off this weekend. Best finishing drivers in the pairings advance to the next round. They're not doing anything on the track. This is just simply, there's a bracket out there that you had to qualify for your positioning, and you get matchups. The top finishing, so if somebody finishes second, somebody finishes third, and they're battling each other that week, well, the guy in second advances in this. Last year, is it going to be the same? A lot of the big-name drivers, top-level drivers, they got eliminated early in this tournament. Like, for instance, throw up the in-season bracket here for me, if you would. Denny Hamlin, he's got a tough matchup this weekend. Denny Hamlin could be knocked out. He's got Ty Dillon this weekend. Ty Dillon runs road courses very well. Hamlin could get knocked out of this race at some point early in this race, midway through the race. Ty Dillon could finish it. Means you get eliminated, right? Kind of what you're looking at. Ryan Preece, he's got a tough matchup this weekend as well. Bubba Wallace has Michael McDowell this weekend in terms of the battle. Chase Elliott has Noah Gragson. Chase Elliott can get knocked out this weekend as well coming up here. Ryan Preece, oh, he's got a very tough one because he's got Van Gisbergen. Good luck to you, Ryan Preece, in this tournament. What they're battling for, 32 drivers, 5 races, the whole TNT slate, $1 million is on the line for the winner. Doesn't have anything to do, then best finisher moves on. Just a little fun little side piece. Just for your information, I am going to sit down and pick the winners my way through this, just like we do the NCAA bracket. I'll post it up there at the Pit Stop Talk as well. Going into this, just kind of who I think is going to advance to the end. It'll be a little fun project. See who's going to win. But you're going to see a lot of upsets here, if not this weekend and going into next weekend. The road course, right? A lot of big name drivers struggle on road courses. You're going to see those struggle against some of those lesser known guys going into this weekend as well. So there's the bracket in-season tournament. It's going to be a fun little side thing to pay attention to starting this weekend at Sonoma as well. So we're into the TNT part of this racing season. Then before it moves to NBC for that playoff chase coming up. Folks, I appreciate you joining me here on the Pit Stop this week. Next week, well, July 4th weekend coming up. IndyCar will be at Mid-Ohio next week. And then, of course, NASCAR also racing next weekend. We'll talk about that. No Truck Series next weekend, but O'Reilly and Cup Series. We'll talk about all of that coming your way next week on the Pit Stop. Come and join us, would you? Share us with your friends. We'll see you. Have a great racing weekend, everyone.